All right.
So happy Monday, everyone. Here's Greg Dixon here with Betty Withrow, and today we're going to talk about ghostwriting. Want to write your book without writing it? And there's no better person I know than to talk to you about this than Betty Withrow. She's been a ghostwriter for a long time, and maybe you can tell me some stories about ghostwriting, like why you love it, and I think many of us, we have passions, but it's often a mixed blessing. So, yes, there's a certain amount of pain and suffering involved with the process, but let's talk about the why you love it part.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. It ain't all fun and games, that's for sure. And nobody ever said writing was all fun and games, so I'm good with that. Well, here's what I love about ghostwriting is that a person who has a ton of knowledge and does not consider themselves to be a writer can, instead of not having a book to share their knowledge, can have a book. And if, as a side benefit for me, I get to learn from them about what their expertise is and how to showcase that and how to bring in their inner brilliance that they may not even see or have recognized within themselves. It's very common for people to kind of short themselves in terms of personal recognition and think that maybe what they have to say isn't that great after all. Well, I can help with that. In fact, this morning I was speaking with a woman who has a project for her business, and I could hear that in her voice, like, "Do I really know what I'm doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think you do." And I can work with you to shape that information in such a way that all of a sudden you'll realize what direction to take and how to work with me to bring that out, and it'll all just start to flow, and the energy just really ramps up once you have a structure, a method, and you really like get the point of what it is that you want to write about. That's one of the first steps is really get down with the message. I go through my standard three golden apples process to pinpoint what the message is, who's the target audience, what do you want to offer for value, and what are they going to receive as a result of reading your book. And then typically, when you start to really see that, and it starts to dawn on you that, yep, this is something that I really do want to share with the world. And so, what I do is I meet regularly with my clients, and we have interviews that I record using my AI tool that I just love, that gives me a really great transcript. And I prune that transcript, and we work with the concepts, refine the outline, which can change as the project goes along. It's supposed to change, and it's just a really great process. Some of the people I work with have absolutely no time to write their book, and they're busy running companies or their practice, or doing research or something of that nature. And so I feel it's a real gift to me that they're ready to take that time to work with me and share their knowledge with the world.
Okay,
That's what I love about it. We're going to leave out the other part, Greg.
really about the other part. Yeah, so I think all of us, like Roy and I and you, when we're with our clients, it's always an adventure. We learn something new. We learn something from, and we get involved with things we didn't even know existed before.
Yeah,
What is that a thing, really? So,
yeah, exactly. Truth. Like lately I've been getting drawn into the field of advanced science research and everything, which is really exciting because these are things I want to learn.
yeah,
And I'm talking with some of the smartest people in the world, sharing their knowledge and getting a handle on how to expose that knowledge to the world in an effective way.
yeah.
And like I said, sometimes people don't even realize the value of what they've got. Like this one client, as we were going through his book, I said, this ties in perfectly with one of your companies. And, he has several different types of businesses, and he didn't see that before. He didn't realize that his book is a perfect intro to the training and the app that he's developed. So that was a pretty cool realization, and we're going to be getting more into that in the next stage of the book development.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So I think we tend to, if people come to us and they've got a course, I think we tend to say, well, do you want to write a book? And then if they've got a book, do you want to create a course to go with that? So
Right.
we try to reuse and repurpose content as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I think what you said is about people don't necessarily know what they've got, like a lot of the things that people, it just becomes rote by habit that they do something that's pretty special that nobody else knows about. So those are the things that I think you can really pull out of somebody.
True. And, it's so easy to think that everybody else knows these things, and they don't. I mean, they just don't. And so bringing that out of the author, and that the person whose book it is the author. I'm the facilitator. That's why they call me the ghost.
The ghostwriter. You write as them, not
Not for them,
for them.
right? Yeah, I become kind of an alternate identity for them in a sense. And sometimes people ask me, "Does it bother you that you don't get named in the book?" And I go, "No, it's because that's my role. And if one of my clients feels that they want to recommend me to someone else, refer me to someone else based on my having done a great job, that's the kind of recognition I can relate to. But the point is that bringing that knowledge out of the author and out into the world is what the book is all about. It's not about me, it's about the process.
Yeah, about the process. So do you write both nonfiction and fiction, and do you have a preference to either of those, or?
Well, so far I've been for ghostwriting, I've been doing nonfiction. I have done some editing and coaching for fiction, and that has been rewarding in ways that I didn't really expect. Like in fiction, you can express a theme in a way that you cannot do directly by stating the theme directly. But if you, through the characters and the development and the things in the book, you can state a theme without exactly saying it forthrightly and bring about an emotion in the reader. And that's a fascinating part about fiction.
Yeah.
And so I love doing that, but so far I haven't ghostwritten any fiction. I do have a fiction book of my own that would love for me to finish it.
It's like the landscaper's yard, right?
Yeah,
Get the attention. The writer never gets the book done.
right. Well, I'm going to plow through that barrier as well. It's come to my attention that getting blocks out for my own content and my own books and everything is essential in order to complete the process of the creativity that I
Yeah,
seek to foster.
perfect. When you're talking about nonfiction, are they memoir or business books, or all
Um,
varies a lot wildly? So,
well, yeah, they they can be both. I have several memoirs in progress at different stages. I'm editing a memoir right now that's actually 1,000 pages long, and it's quite. The woman is 80 years old, and she kept a diary since she was 7. So it's quite a fascinating book. And then business books and scientific books are right behind that.
okay.
Um, I think they're neck and neck right now as far as who I'm actually working with.
I know you did a book recently about, or about a dentist, a retired dentist, on with some marketing advice for other
Mhm.
dentist practices.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the examples.
Yeah.
And that one's out, so we can't spill the beans on that one because it's already published, isn't it?
Yeah, it's already published. It's already published. So yeah, what am I working on right now? I'm working with a trauma psychiatrist and a researcher in Peak States. He's works with the Peak States Institute, and he's enlightening me about the true nature of trauma and how it manifests in your biology and what trauma actually is as opposed to what people think it is, and ways to address emotional issues and resolve problems. That's one. And then I'm working on a book, the one that I just mentioned, the guy who has developed an app and everything else. His is it's a motivational book. It's about not identifying with your past, but finding the absolute perseverance to create your future. And he's got a story that's red hot. So,
Okay.
and information to match. Yeah. So that's a good one. Yeah.
And you're also working on our collaboration here, our total traffic and conversion way.
I am, and that's part of the list of must do. I've been getting input from you and Roy about the number of broadcasts that we have and the scope of the information. Going back through my own content map for this year and going, okay, what's relevant for our first book here, and gonna put it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roy this morning was said, I guess he's been busy transcribing the videos and wanting to know where to put the transcripts.
Yeah, yeah, it's coming along, and as I said, the time blocking thing I'm seeing is really essential. There's days when I can communicate really effectively, and it's all good, and I'm on a roll with that. And then there's other days where, as you put it right before this broadcast, I need to be on a tear with something else. Just shut up and write,
Shut up and write. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm a bit like you. I get up and I get inspired to write something, and it's almost a compulsion. I have to write it, I have to get it down while I can, while it's still flowing. But we're in got the brain flowing. So
Yeah, yeah. It's
because it
like
doesn't
this thing.
always.
You turned it on. Now the only way to turn it off is to get it onto the page and
Yeah.
and
It's
keep
like
going.
a
Yeah.
word exorcism or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or an epiphany is a better way of putting that.
Epiphany is good. Like I did get on a tear today because for the last 2 days I've been kind of going, okay, on Monday, I promise I'm going to write these pieces of content that our clients need. And I was like, I don't know, like I wasn't really feeling it. And then all of a sudden it was just like, okay, I know exactly what to do. And I just went there.
Yeah, I saw that whole folders in Google Drive filled with stuff today.
Right. This is what happens. Yeah. Yeah. It's a process. And I can't force it to happen, but I can promise myself that it will happen. And that seems to work a lot better.
Yeah, it may not happen at the moment you want it to. That's so, but it
Yeah.
will, as you say, it will. You just need the right space and the right inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah. It's usually for me, it's like, okay, in this block of time, I'm going to accomplish this. And I kind of cast it out into the
Yeah.
future while the ideas are kind of going back and doing one of these. And then all of a sudden, ta-da!
Ta-da!
As Greg would say.
A miracle happens.
Right.
A chapter, a blog
Words
post.
appear. Yeah. A chapter happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mysterious process.
Yeah. So if people want to get started with you, I've got the writerslaunchpad.com. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then you could also come and visit totaltrafficandconversion.com because you can get a description of us, what we do. And,
Mhm.
but for the purpose of ghostwriting, go to the writerslaunchpad.com. And also you're everywhere online. You're on LinkedIn and
Mhm.
Facebook and all those places. And in
Mhm.
a networking group near you, maybe. So
Maybe.
maybe.
Depends where you live in the cyber universe, 'cause
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all over the globe at this point,
Yeah.
and out in the ether, as they say.
If
But,
it's Tuesday, we
yeah,
must be in Australia.
yeah, you might see me in Australia. You might indeed.
That's what I keep on saying. It says, "Oh, I got a meeting in Australia. Oh, I got a meeting in Ireland." And
Yeah,
people say, "Well,
right.
you better leave. It's a long way to go." So, but
I know,
it's
right? Yeah.
cyberspace. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I have a meeting tomorrow in Germany.
in Germany, yes.
Right. It all works now. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah. So, and you're willing to talk to somebody even if they have a notion.
absolutely. And that
Yeah.
all starts with a notion, you
Yeah,
know?
you got maybe an idea that they want to write about, maybe a title, maybe not, just something you want to do.
Mhm.
Start from there, and then you go through the process and see where you end up. So
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So go to thewriterslaunchpad.com and schedule a time to discuss your project. And I'm happy to share ideas with you. Whether or not we end up working together, I learn from every conversation I have.
Yeah,
So that's the point to me is I need to keep learning because if I'm not learning, I don't
yeah,
want to do it. So show up and teach me something.
yeah, for sure, absolutely. And it could be something that maybe it's an idea that's not ready yet, not now, but maybe sometime 6 months or a year down the road. And
That's
it's
right.
good to know from talking with Betty about what the options are and how to move forward. And I'm sure you have some suggestions. We posted a lot of writing suggestions here on Mondays
Uh-huh.
about how to journal, how to get their ideas, brainstorming, all sorts of things. A lot of things
Mhm.
that people can do on their own. And then if you get to the point and say, okay, no, this isn't fun, let's call Betty.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, some of the people I work with are just like, I'm not a writer, and I'm like, you don't have to be. Just have something to share. And nobody's supposed to be good at everything. Save us from the people who are good at everything.
Yeah, and even some of your processes, you'll do an interview with them, and they'll just talk to you, and you'll transcribe it, and then you'll forge it into something beautiful. So,
That's my general method: is give
yeah,
me whatever you've got in terms of written material, have an interview, fill in the blanks, and do a lot of pruning.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so again, yeah, you reach out. You've got nothing to lose from contacting Betty. If anything, you'll have some fun, and you'll both learn some things by making an appointment with Betty and talk about your project and your ideas. Uh, you know, bring out your napkin ideas. So,
Yeah, yeah. Got something on the back of an envelope?
yeah, yeah. In the old days, it used to be a matchbox, but most people aren't smoking
Right?
packing
Yeah.
matches anymore.
Index card.
Index cards, yeah, that seemed to come up with one of our past podcasts, wasn't it? Yeah, index card.
Index card power. I totally believe in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The equivalent is like notes, Apple Notes or something like that. I
Mhm.
have an idea and I put in there and start something new
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then go from there. Yeah.
That works for a lot of people too. Sure. Whatever method works, that's the way to go. You
Yeah.
know. How do
Whatever
you like to communicate?
yeah,
Let's do that.
whatever works for you, right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
mentioned I asked somebody for an article and it was an accountant and she sent it as a text cell in an Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
So,
Yes. That's a new one. That's a novel approach, you
but
might
it
say.
worked, you could type words into cell, it worked. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It,
Anyway,
it, it might
okay.
be a good way to organize chapters now that you mention it.
Yes, yes, knowing an Excel spreadsheet is very handy for a writer, actually, very good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah, we did do a broadcast recently about a whole pile of different tools that people can use for writing.
uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
So you can go back to the archives and find that.
Yeah. Everything from Microsoft Teams to Google Drive to Airtable
Yeah,
to
yeah,
ClickUp.
yeah,
Where do you work? I'll meet you there.
yeah. We're sort of biased towards Google folders and Google Drive and stuff because almost everything you need can be put in there, and that's pretty much the first thing we do when we have a new client is we create a folder and then we give people access who need to have access and create a structure. And some are relatively simple file structure and some not so simple, depending on the scope of the project, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, happy Monday, everyone, and be sure to reach out to Betty, schedule a chat with Betty, and we'll see where that leads.
Yeah. Don't be shy. Come on over.
Don't be shy. Just do it.
Let's do it.